Hi, my name is Lorraine Watry and welcome to my studio. I am a watercolor artist and I've worked with watercolor for 26 years now, and I thought I would start a new series of videos where I go over different tips, tricks, and techniques for working with watercolor. And hopefully these short videos will help you in your journey, and if you have a question or a technique that you would like to see, please comment below and I will try to accommodate that in a future video. Hi, this tip and trick video is going to be about how to make grass and negative painting. And negative painting is a term used in watercolor and some other mediums, and so I'll explain that as we go along. And the question was, how do you create the look of grass without painting every blade? So I am going to do a couple things here. And I need to put some color on the paper first, and then I will come back and add some layers to that. So I have cobalt out on my palette. I'm going to get a little more out because that has dried from an earlier painting I was working on. And then I will also pull out some Aureolin yellow, and I use the Holbein Aureolin and some New Gamboge. And the Holbein Aureolin yellow is, I had a question about that in an earlier video. The Holbein Aureolin yellow is a mix of 3 pigments, and unlike the Aureolin yellow that is a single pigment, the mix of these 3 pigments doesn't fade like or change color like the other Aureolin yellow does or can. Alright, so get out some Aureolin, and just to have a little variety in my yellows to make the greens or yellow greens as I'm painting. And then I will start by creating a kind of like a hillside, and so I'm going to place my lighter color down first, and I'll probably vary the color as I'm going down, and I can have the upper edge have some variety to it to start, just so that it already looks like there may be some grasses or things going on in the background. And then as I'm coming down, I want to change the color here and there just because that gives it some interest. And I may go back to that first color. So right now all I'm doing is laying in a light wash with some variety in it. And just go over in here. All right. A little bit more. And then as I come toward the foreground, generally your cooler colors are going to recede and the warmer colors will come forward. And so I want to warm up the color I'm using as I come forward, just to help with the illusion of depth. Okay. Alright, so that might be my first coat on an area that would have grass on it. So at this point, all I'm doing is laying down that first layer, and then I need to let it dry. The other way that you can do grass is by using some tools. So for this one, I'm just going to use my regular paintbrush, and you could use some other tools, but I'm going to lay just a patch of color down so you can see what those other tools can do. And it would be probably the same process as over here, so I would just place some color in there, and then I can show you what a couple different tools can do to help you make the look of grass. So I'll do that one, and then once I have these on the paper, then I'll dry it, and I can come back with a couple different brushes to show you what they can do. Alright, so I'll dry this and then I will be back in a second. All right, so I have dried all of these areas, and now I'm going to come back and start adding some layers. So I talked about negative painting, and negative painting means basically you have a light area or lighter area on your paper, and you come back in with a darker color, and by leaving some of the light showing through, you create the whatever texture or look or shape that you want to by having some of that lighter shape show up. So I would probably start by, actually, I'm going to grab, I think I'll use this one, grab a brush, and in this back area I don't necessarily want my grass to be as in focus. So I don't have to put water everywhere, but just by putting some dots here and there, I can place water on the paper, and I'll give it just a few seconds so that it's not too wet. And then I'm coming back in with the same colors I used before. Actually, I want to start with my, sorry, trying to talk and paint cannot always happen together. All right, so I want to come back in with some of that cooler green. So I used the cobalt and the aureolin, and then just by sort of flicking your brush up here and there, you can create the look of grass in the distance. And where it touches the water, it's going to have blurry edges, and where it is on dry paper, then it will have a harder edge. So if you want a little more of the feeling of a softer edge, give it just a few more seconds, and if it's still slightly damp, you can wet your brush, dry it, and then with your brush just a little bit damp, you could come back in and still soften a few of those edges here and there so that you can adjust the feeling of it being in the distance. So that is one thing you can do. And then as I'm coming forward, then I might start with the grass on dry paper. And at this moment, anything that I paint that is darker around the lighter areas, I am actually creating a shape, that lighter shape. In fact, I'll do one where the grass is a bigger bunch. So this lighter shape that I have just created right here, that is negative painting. So I am making, by putting a darker shape around it, I am making that lighter shape come forward, and it feels like there is a bunch of grass right here that's light compared to the grass around it. So that is considered negative painting. I have created a bunch of lighter grass just by painting around it with a darker shape, and you do have to watch your edges. So the bottom of that grass, I wouldn't want it to be straight. I would want it to have some variety to my edges so that it feels natural. And then as I'm coming forward, you could continue to do that kind of thing, but you could also, let me blur this just a little bit since it's still damp. I could make larger shapes, and just by, as I'm coming forward, just by putting a bigger a bigger wash of paint on there, a bigger brush stroke of paint, then I can fill in an area without necessarily painting every blade. So it depends on how close the grass is to the viewer. If it's farther back, I would probably have just more of an overall shape, and then maybe just on the edges, like right in here, I might add a little bit of some lines so that it feels like there is a clump of grass there. I decided that yellow-green that I was using was a little too lime looking for what else I had been doing. So just a few marks here and there, or you can, let me blur this just a little bit, bring it down. So I wet that edge because I wanted it to soften just a little bit and give me the feeling of grass without having to paint every edge. Now this might be the second layer, and then you might want to go in one more time or a couple more times and add just a little bit more to it. There is a place right in here where I added a little wetter color, and so it's a little softer looking. So I might, once that had dried, go back and add a little more. So I'll leave that for now and go show you over here, and then I can see if there's time to dry that and come back into that. So a couple other options are, one, I was using, whoops, this was a number 10 brush, but you could go to a smaller bristle brush. This is a number 4. The problem with going down into too small of a brush too early is that you tend to get too focused on all the little details. So if you have a bigger brush, then you have the option of doing a bigger stroke, and then if you have a brush with a good tip to it, you can get up on the tip of it and make those little marks. So I kind of like to stay with the bigger brushes at first and then use the smaller tip if need be, and then on a later layer I can use the smaller brush. So these guys are also options that you could use for grasses. This one's called a grainer, and it has shorter and longer bristles, and I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but it has a little bit of a variety of length to the bristles. And then this is a fan brush, and I don't really use, I probably would use the grainer more than the fan brush, but I just thought I would show you some marks that they can make. So I'm going to pull out my cobalt again and maybe a little more of the Aureolin just to have it. And then for the grainer, get it wet and a little more blue in there. And then I would probably brush it this direction because it's going to give you the marks of the long, thin grasses by kind of stroking upward. If you try to paint this way, you can get some marks, but I think they end up being a little too even. Whereas, let me go to a darker color here. If I go upward, I can kind of get that wispy look where they have the thinner edges toward the top, and it sort of fills in at the bottom, and then you can bring it up and it gets lighter toward the top. So that is an interesting tool for grasses, and it would depend on your style and how you want to use it. I also use this one every now and then if I'm doing possibly animal fur or something like that, where I want to have a little bit of a interesting texture on there. So there's that one, and then this is the fan brush, and like I said, I don't really use this one a lot. This is one of those brushes that generally sits in my bag, and so might be a kind of a variety of marks that you can make maybe on the side with it if you'd like. You can bring it like I did with the grainer, where you are sort of pulling it up. You could try going downward. That would work as well. And that is a kind of a quick way to get some grasses and some marks. But it does also get a little more into the detail because you tend to want to go in and fill every little grass in. So I would be careful how you use it. So let me dry this, and I'll show you a few more marks over here, and then we'll be done. Alright, so I have dried that second layer, and I'm going to come back in with my kind of medium brush, my number 10, and just add a little bit more, a few more marks in here. And these marks, I'm painting more directly so that you can sort of see the clumps of grass. And maybe I'll go a little, need some more water in that mix. Go a little cooler behind, and I think of it sort of as a calligraphy type of stroke. Now that might look a little too hard-edged everywhere, so that would be where I would dry my brush, get it a little cleaned off, and then dry my brush, And then I can come back and just by softening a few edges here and there while it's still slightly damp, then I can make an adjustment. And actually I have a edge here that's a little too straight. Okay, so the other way that you can get lighter grasses is once you have your color on, you could come back with, let me see if I can find one, a flat brush, and depending on your colors, you could lift with the flat brush and create another layer just by coming in and lifting some lighter grasses. So depending on the staining or non-staining paint you're using, this is easier or harder. If it's a non-staining pigment, it will lift pretty easily, and cobalt is non-staining, and then the two yellows, there is a little bit of color left on there. I don't necessarily want it to go back to white, but by doing that, I'm adding layers so that all of a sudden there's sort of a negative and positive space happening where you get those lighter and darker shapes. So you can come back and lift some color out if you'd like as well to give you the feeling of highlighted grass here and there. The idea is to put some color down to start, then come in with 1 or 2 or 3 more layers depending on what you're working on, and then you can then use the value, whether you're lifting some color or adding some darks here and there, and just a few brush strokes here and there will give you the feeling that there's grass without having to paint every single blade. And less texture in the back, or not less texture, less hard edges, fewer hard edges in the back will make it feel like it's in the distance and it's less in focus. And then I used harder edges toward the foreground. So these would be brushes that you might want to try out, and just the technique in general of doing negative painting and some layering, and most of the basic first layers are big shapes, and then as you get farther into doing the grass, just a few marks here and there will give you the feeling of grass. So I hope that really helps, and if you have a subject that you would like to request a video to see a tip and trick on, please let me know, and I have, by commenting below, and I have a couple more in the queue to do some videos for, so please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day. Bye!